You know what's going on, man? It's Beazo803 on that social media. I got my codes with me right now.
Beazo803 Mikey, Been Mikey, man. We in the building.
We got the great, honorable Dr. Napoleon Bradford.
What's up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's up?
Hey, this is my guy. This is my guy right here. This is my guy right here, man.
Hey, glad to have you in the building, sir.
Hey, man, what's going on, man?
Nothing, man. So glad to be here in the space, man.
Yeah, I wanna say to the people, man, this guy has always supported me.
Yeah.
From DJing, even got one of my shirts on right now. He's always booked me for different things and involved me in things he's been going, has going on, and definitely appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Listen, you are amazing. You always come through, and to be honest, it's my mama. Like, my mama used to love your daddy when he was on the radio. Like, she used to love him. And so when I met you, man, it's just been an instant connect.
Definitely, man. Always been a thorough brother, man, and like many other people I connect with, man, you always been an innovative person, always thinking about what's next and how to, shape and mold your community, your audience, your following into the next thing, man. What is that kind of ideology coming from for you, man?
I think it's the idea of realizing that as long as we're content with being where we are, we're always behind. Like, you can never, we're always playing catch up if we're not thinking ahead.
Gotcha.
So in order to really be futuristic and be relevant, you got to be thinking 2 chapters ahead of the person. So when you think about a TV show, they ain't writing season 5. No, they've already written season 9. We just catching up real time with what's going on.
Right.
So in order to do that, you have to think ahead. Like Shonda Rhimes just released Queen Charlotte, right? The spinoff of Bridgerton, right? But you got to already know that the only reason she did that now is to line up with the coronation, right? But she already announced at the first episode that season 3 of Bridgerton coming in October.
Right.
So they've already filmed that.
I see that, man. Got everybody in a frenzy
so
right
you
now.
gotta already be thinking ahead, and too many of us spend too much time in the present, where you can still be you can be future focused and in the present at the same time.
Right.
You can be in both planes at the same time.
That's a bar right there, man.
So I think that's the only way to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Right? So many people spending so much time talking about, like, think about age groups, right? They're talking about millennials, right? Realistically, millennials, there's 2 generations behind millennials, right? So while everybody focusing on millennials, they ain't got nothing for Generation Z, they ain't got nothing for Generation Alpha. We talking about how to engage them. You got to already be thinking about that. So that's where it comes from programming. To be a programmer or planner or innovator, you got to fill in gaps. So you have to look at things you never can look at things as if, man, we did a great job. You have to always look at them from the place of, man, what did we do wrong? What did we miss? Who's missing in this space? And I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, I don't care the biggest church, the biggest building, the biggest capacity probably in Sumter is probably the stadium or the Civic Center.
Right.
Biggest capacity space. Right? So even if you pack that out, most people will be like, yeah, we packed that out. But you got to think, it probably only seats 25,000, if that.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
Yeah, if that, yeah.
But there are 107,000 people in Sumter County. So while you shout over 25,000, where are the other 79,000 people at? And that's what you got to be building stuff for, right? While still maintaining a full Civic Center. You don't want to lose Civic Center capacity, but you want to have 6 or 7 other events, so that the shout at the end of the day will be all 107,000 people were doing something engaged to my work.
That's innovative, man. I like how you put that, man. Definitely. Being innovative and staying relevant. I like how you connect those dots on that. That's very. I like that. I got something from that, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So talk about what you got going on right now, man. I know you got a bunch of things going on, but just speak on some of the things you got going on that people may not know about.
Right. So right now, in this very moment, I just released 2 books. So I have 2 books that'll be coming out in print on July 1st. We're in the pre-sale phase now.
Okay.
You can go to bit.ly/Naps New Books S. I did 2 because one's a 40-day devotional, and then one is like a parallel to a dark period of my life. So it talks about how I navigated the storm parallel with Noah's navigating of the first flood. So it's a good little book called Strength from My Storms, Lessons I Learned Going Through. So you can get those now. We're in the process of launching a new ministry model in South Carolina and in Maryland simultaneously. It's called The Place. And right now we currently do like this thing. We did it today, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 o'clock, called Rush Hour. It's an after work word. It's just a quick 20-minute message while you driving home from work. But The Place, the purpose of The Place is to wrap the arms of Jesus around you where you are. Now, you can feel Jesus in with God or whoever, but it's to wrap the love of God around you where you are, so that where you are becomes holy ground. In other words, we transform every place to the place of healing, the place of wholeness. So this ministry will not just be worship services, but the idea is to be a holistic, a health and wholeness place. So we're looking at mental health counseling. We're looking at educational services. We're looking at relational services like counseling for conflict resolution, premarital counseling, postmarital counseling, right? In the middle of marriage counseling, right? Pre-divorce counseling, right? We're talking about working with blended families, because oftentimes when people get married, they don't consider the children. Right. So they get in marriage and then they have no parameters, no guidelines about how they're going to raise kids and how they're going to navigate with kids that have additional parents that they then have to navigate relationships with. Right? Financial literacy, economic empowerment. We really want to become an entrepreneurial incubator where we can find seed money for those that go through this 9-month class, this incubation period, where we take you from the conception of your dream, your business dream, all the way to the birthing of it, and then give you seed money to start.
Man. That's gonna be
right?
dope.
So the idea is, and then worship is a byproduct. So I believe that ministry is not just a Sunday morning service. I believe that when you look at if you look at through biblical writ, anybody who did anything with God didn't just do it on one day. It was the constant walking through life. Right? Moses walked through life with the Israelites. Right? Abraham walked through life with Sarah and Isaac, and then Isaac walked through with Rebekah and Jacob and Esau, and then Jacob walked through. They did life together. Right? Joshua walked with the people. It wasn't just, I'm gonna come to you on Sunday, I'm gonna shout you and I'm gonna send you out to try to navigate it. No, ministry looks like walking with.
I like how you talking, brother.
Right? Through the process. Which also takes away the hierarchy, right? I ain't better than you. I'm struggling this life right with you, but together we can do it. I may know something, but I don't know it all. But you bring what you get, and we work in community for this common purpose of change. So I believe that that's what the place is designed to do. We're going to be doing pop-ups. You know, I used to do the Word and Wings. I hadn't done that in a while here. We did this thing called Cigars and Conversation.
That was dope.
Where we go and, we take over a cigar bar, we light some sticks.
That was dope. I was there for that.
I'm about to do this thing called Beer and Bible Study. I really want to do like this cognac sip and something, right? And I think that the real thing is it's just space for conversation. Right, where you can shed your skin. Right, you can shed the outer layer, that protective layer. You walk around and act hard and act like you're unbothered. And you can just be and realize that other people just trying to be too. Like, real talk, life is hell. Like, I don't know if I can say that through FCC regulations, but life is hell. Right? And we be trying to fake it for people, trying to front for people, going in debt, trying to impress Negroes. Reality is, no, I need a space where I can just be like, look, it's hard. I don't know how I'm going to make it. Right? I don't know how my bill's being paid. I don't know, I need some help navigating. And I think that that's kind of what we're trying to provide.
I must say, man, like I said, I attended the Cigars and Conversations, and I didn't know what to expect, because I'm really I'm a conversationalist, but I would say it's mostly on the stove. And when I say that, music, culture. And I was like, what we gonna be talking about? Now we talking about real stuff. And I started kind of expressing, relationship stuff. And it felt good, man. Like my man over here, like, yeah, man, he relating to me.
Okay.
And it was just a great experience. And I do enjoy cigars, so and cognac, it was a great experience. So I definitely, man, keep it going, man. I'm gonna be to the next one if it's, in driving distance.
We're gonna try to do one here, man. We're gonna try to do one at 514.
Oh, that'd be hard.
The reason that we couldn't do it before is because it was cold. I went to do it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
they had those outdoor, and smoking cigars in 30-degree weather, it ain't cool, even with a heat lamp. But it's about to be summertime.
I'm ready, man. Let me know
so
when it's gonna be.
Do another one.
That was dope, man. And like I said, it was a lot of powerful conversation in there, and I got a lot from it. So definitely gonna keep that going, man. But like you said, you're doing a lot of great things, a lot of innovative things, man, and definitely an asset to the Sumter community. And I know your Maryland community as well. But for the people that don't know you, man, let's take it back a little bit, kind of give them some context of who you are, where you came from, man. So where you originally from?
Man, I was born by the river. Now I'm joking. I was born right in Toomey Hospital, November 16th, 1977.
All right.
South Side.
South Side in the building.
South Side, 932 South Main Street.
Big shout, South Side in the building.
Corner of South Main and Perkins Street in the Pinedale community.
Mexicans got to take over now.
Yeah, listen. Yeah.
Wow.
We over there down the street from John Clark, down the street from Joetta Irving, Willie Strong.
Talk about it.
All them people down the street.
Talk about legendary people.
Legendary.
Man.
Down the street from Mr. Lee Knuckles, Carl Baker.
Y'all know these names.
Down the street. Strickland, Miss Strickland.
Yeah.
Patricia Talbert's mom, all down the same corner. So, yeah.
That's hard, man.
We grew up there.
So what was life like, back then growing up, man?
Well, I mean, it was cool.
Typical day-to-day for you.
I mean, I grew up over there. My father just happened to be the assistant principal at Wilder. Mm-hmm. So it really wasn't too much getting into trouble, not then, right? You got handled swiftly, but we were outdoors. He did tennis, so he started a tennis program at Southside Gym and at Bates. It was called the Palmetto Tennis Club. Can you imagine black kids playing tennis?
Wow, that's
in
hard.
The 70s, right? Lois Weston Green, I think, was part of that. I think
that's hard.
I mean, they were all playing tennis and stuff. He was military, so he met my mom at the hut, the old hut, now not the fancy hut. I'm talking about the on the hill hut,
the old hut,
right, the old hut. Some of y'all may not know about the old hut. Yeah. I guess it's still there. Those street monsters used to have it for a minute.
Yeah, the old hut.
The old hut. Yeah, he met my mom there, and so we grew up there. Went to Wilder, Bates, Sumter High. Graduated 95, class of 9. Shouts out to class of 95.
95 in the building.
95.
What's up with it?
Went on to College of Charleston for a couple years, and then came back and graduated from Morris.
What was your major for that?
Elementary education.
Okay.
With emphasis in early childhood education.
Gotcha, man. Did you like after that go into the workforce or?
Yeah. I graduated and went right to teaching at Rafton Creek Elementary School.
Shout out to Rafton Creek.
Shout out to Rembert.
Yeah. How did that experience kind of shape and mold your career, man? Being a teacher.
It was amazing, man. It was amazing, but I realized that I wanted to do more. Right. So my father was assistant principal, my mom was a teacher, but I always knew that I wanted to get into administration. So I told Miss Barboza, who was the principal at that time, that I was going to go because I got accepted into a graduate program at Bowling Green State University. And so I was like, I'm going to go to school, and I'm going to come back in 5 years, and I'm going to be principal. Right? So I left, went, got my master's degree in school counseling, got a specialist degree in education administration and supervision.
Talk about it.
And then I started working up there. I was the first African-American school counselor at Finley Elementary School. Finley Middle, at Donnell Middle School in Finley, Ohio. Now, if you don't know Finley, that's where Big Ben was from. So Big Ben's little sister, Carly, was in my 8th grade class when I was a counselor there.
Big Motion Podcast.
Oh, yeah. So
got heavy hitters on here, man. Y'all better know.
I was the first African-American school counselor. This is like in 2002. Like first African. I remember going for the interview, and I get there in a suit. I'm in a suit, bow tie.
Yeah.
This white woman comes out the door and she's like, "Hey, are you our delivery boy?" I said, "No, I'm your next school counselor." I ain't had no idea what I was talking about, but I got hired for the gig.
Right.
Worked there for 2 years and then left and worked in Toledo, Ohio at Woodward High School as a student assistance counselor. Got the call, interviewed back here, and came back in 2006 as the assistant principal at Maywood Middle School.
That's dope, man. So you always had a connection with the youth, man, and doing great things for the youth, man. You know, I guess that comes from, you know, your educational background and stuff like that.
Well, it does, but it also comes from seeing those that don't achieve, right? Because even though we shout out about our accomplishments, there were others in our class that didn't do well, right? I remember at College of Charleston, one thing that led me into education, because I went there as a pre-med major. In fact, in the 1995 Paragon, I'm most likely to succeed with a doctor's coat on and a stethoscope, right? But when I went there, one day I walked through this building and I saw all these little black kids in this room. And I'm like, you know, school out. These are children of the professors. They said, no, these are the kids that's gotten kicked out of school. So it was like an alternative day program.
Yeah.
But it was 30 black little boys being taught by white people. And I was like, man, so where are we at?
Yeah.
Right? So I realized that we cannot fault society if we're not trying to provide solutions. Right? And so we can't expect the oppressor to provide us relief. So what we have to always do is we have to be the answer to the problem.
Yeah.
And so when I was in Ohio, I started this program called Project Excellence, which was a intergenerational mentoring program. In other words, we had myself and my wife and some adults that would mentor college students who would then mentor high school students, who would then mentor elementary school students. We brought these kids from inner city Toledo to Bowling Green. We got funded by the campus. So we became an internship. We became an educational practicum site for their education students. We got funding to become a campus organization, right? And then we did our nonprofit paperwork in 2002. So we were taking these inner city Toledo kids to the Saab Museum in Chicago. Like we was taking them to Dusty Southern, like they've never eaten out, right? We were taking them to places, college tours up there. So when I came down here, I wrote the grant, 21st Century Community Learning Center grant, and did the same thing with high school students at Lakewood, right? Project Excellence was there.
Yeah, I remember that, man.
Then we wrote a summer program, the Summer of Excellence. And so we were able to get this summer grant program. And what we did for 3 consistent summers was we took Sumter families. If they attended 75% of the time, we took the kids and their parents on a 7-day college tour for free. So for free, first year, we did North Carolina schools. We shot over to Tennessee, came down through Atlanta, came back home. Second year, we shot up to Baltimore. We did Morgan State, Virginia Union, all those schools, came back through A&T, came on back, right? Last year, we had limited funds. We did a South Carolina tour. We toured, and I mean, these kids were, one child I remember, high school sophomore, cried when he got to Myrtle Beach. We did Coastal Carolina, College of Charleston, Charleston Southern, went up to Furman, up to Clemson, USC, South Carolina State, Newberry, but he'd never been to the beach, man. Never been to the beach. Cried. I mean, this straight goon. Like, he's still in Sumter. Like, he's still here. And I see him. He a goon now. But at the beach in the 10th grade, he wept by the sea.
Yeah, man.
He'd never seen it before.
That's crazy, man.
Life changing.
That's why you left an impact on a lot of youth, man. I remember that particular program. I actually did y'all prom, I think.
Yeah.
And then
at the Imperial. Dining out. Yeah.
And I thought that was just so dope what you was doing for the youth, and just leaving that being impactful in their lives, man, because so many of them don't have anyone, that even care about them like that. Unfortunately, mom, dude's probably working 100 hours, no father in their home. All type of situations and scenarios So, it was just very honorable of you to even, do such a thing, man. What's your opinion on the state of, education right now in our community, man? Because you see all these crazy videos and teachers leaving. I'm riding down 95 and I see a big billboard saying substitutes wanted.
Yeah, man. We are in an extremely pivotal moment for education. And what's going to happen, I believe, and this is just my humble opinion, everybody's going to have to put their egos down, right? Because the school system doesn't want to change because that's how they've always done it. But we learned in pandemic that doesn't have to be done that way. This is the perfect time for reinventing. But it's not going to take the school system because they're tied to laws from the Department of Education and the State Department of Education. So it's really going to take some really innovative people, which is why you're seeing people like Sean Reagan, right?
Yeah,
Liberty STEAM Academy, those people that are doing those charter schools and those private schools. Their programs are phenomenal, and they're thinking outside the box, and they got people excited about it.
Oh yeah.
But I think for school systems, I mean, they're public school systems, but they have to be courageous enough to not just try to get through state testing, but to really try to push the envelope. I mean, when we were in school, they were teaching us like Word and PowerPoint. But when you get to college, you're doing so much more. They're teaching us basic programming and stuff, typing. And I mean, that's good, but we've always been behind the 8 ball. I'll tell you a perfect example. When I got to Lakewood in 2007, that's the first year they gave the freshman class Chromebooks. Gave them laptops. Freshman year, 2007. And let me tell you what happened. They said, "Oh, we have all this software. They'll only be able to do school programming." 10 minutes after they distributed them, 7 kids went to the McDonald's, got on their Wi-Fi, and cracked all the security protocols and was on all kind of stuff. They had to recall the computer.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because we're behind the 8. Our kids. My daughter was at the hospital my granddaughter was at the hospital getting her tonsils taken out and was on 2 years old. Had selected a song, started recording, and was making her a snap at 2 years old. I mean, with one hand, like a professional, with one hand.
Yeah, man.
These kids are they're, for one thing, Generation Alpha, they're native. They're native all technology.
Yeah.
Like they know it from birth.
Yeah.
Right? The Generation Z, same thing. They've always known iPhone. Right? They've always known cell phone.
That's all they know.
Right? They don't even know rotary phone.
Nah.
They would be wounded on the side of the road if they had to go to a payphone because they wouldn't even know what to do. Right? So
I feel old now.
Education, they still want kids to have paper books.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
Right? You can give them a tablet with a full catalog book list. Right? But we still want them to go through because that's what we went through. But can I tell you the problems that the world is going to face is not the problems we faced. And so we're setting our kids up with an antiquated way of thinking that's not going to prepare them for a futuristic fight they're going to have to face. Kids can't, they're not decision makers. They're not critical thinkers. And because we've coddled, right, they can't navigate. And then when they are able to navigate, we're so restrictive that we kind of hinder their freedom of thought. I mean, because I went back to teaching last year, 2019. Teaching, I was a guidance counselor last year, and I had a first grade class. You know, what you want to be when you grow up? When I was young, we wanted to be, Spider-Man, wanted to be a firefighter. This first grader was like, I already own me a pop-up store. I want my YouTube channel to pop. This other girl, kindergarten, says, I have a chapstick line, a lip gloss line. Kindergarten.
Oh, I see it.
Right, they got YouTube. They are you talking about monetizing? They have monetized you. They get checks.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah. Twitch. All that.
They get checks weekly.
Weekly, man. It's crazy. Man.
They paying their parents' bills at 7 years old.
Yeah. That's
why I do believe some of their parents allow them to navigate so loosely Cause they breadwinners.
Oh yeah.
You can't say things like, I bought that cell phone. No, you didn't, mama. My YouTube channel bought my cell phone.
Yeah, man, that's crazy where technology in the world is at right now.
You think about education, we have to be, and it's fatiguing because we now have to change our frame of thinking, right? We're not just trying to push Common Core to them because they're learning it. We have to think of innovative ways to teach them. We have to engage in stuff that they like. We want to make them come to us. We got to go to where they are. Why aren't we teaching classes in Call of Duty? We could easily, right? I remember in 2000, there used to be a program on PlayStation in about, it was 4th and 5th grade where it was a reading program, but it was a PlayStation game. But somehow they stopped doing that, right? We should be innovative in releasing education on platforms that meet children where they are and are just as effective, just as innovative, and just as mind-blowing.
Man, I love it, man. Oh. We got Dr. Napoleon Bradford in the building right now. We dropping bombs on him right now, I promise you. This is why we created the show. We got people, you right here from Sumter, South Carolina. You travel a lot, of course, but you innovative.
Got a great story.
And got a great story, and you know how to speak to the people in a way we can understand and really get your viewpoint. You know, everybody's viewpoint matters, but you've been there, you've done a lot of things, so it's good to hear your perspective on things. And I just love, you know, how you express everything just now, man.
But you got a lot of young soldiers coming up too now. Y'all had Sterling on here last week.
Yeah, definitely, man. Big shout, my man Sterling to Bond. That's why we getting them heavy hitters on here, man.
But I mean, you got multiple people.
Yeah.
And I just scroll Facebook. Like, I love what you're doing with all of your entrepreneur promoting and all that, small business, black business stuff. Therapy. That's good stuff. But I think that there are so many programs. There are like 4, they're mentoring programs. Travis Law's got one that he does at Morris College with the freshmen.
I got to tap in with him, man. Big shout.
You got a lot of people that are doing it. Now what probably needs to happen, which we've never done a good job of, is organizing, right? Or collaboration without competition. That's something we don't do a good job of. So in other words, I isolate you or I talk down about you rather than work with you, as if to say that you're a threat to me. You're really not a threat, because here's the reality. Again, let's go back to space. If the exhibition center only holds 25,000, then there's still another 75,000 suffering on the outside. Right? If bombs dropping, you can save 25, but why not refer the other 75 to like programs that can save them too? See, no one person is the savior. No one person is the GOAT. I mean, we use the GOAT, right? We use that word, like, you know, because you do a little bit, but the reality is there's not one GOAT. Goats don't travel in isolation.
That's a
right.
bar.
They travel in whatever it is, flocks or whatever. I gotta go. I didn't learn that in school, Lord. But whatever they travel in, there's more than one that can be just as successful.
Facts. Yeah.
So we need to develop a network of mentoring programs, a network of after-school programs with a catalog and choice reference, because they're not all doing the same thing. They're not carbon copies of each other, but one may focus on abstinence, another one may focus on coding, another one may focus on preparation for pageants, another one may focus on STEM, another one may focus on recording. Maybe the next DJs are out there, right? And you just have these different mentoring programs and a catalog that comes. You know what they do for the summer? They do a summer catalog of all the summer programs in Sumter. But they don't put our programs in there. They put 1 or 2 in there because they've been stamped approved.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, gotcha.
But there are more that are qualified.
Right.
They don't need the necessarily stamping of society. They need our stamp, and they need you to be like, look, this is what's going on. You may not have heard about this. This is what's popping, right? He only can have 25. That's cool. So that means 25 people have a space.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you find the next space. They can do another 7 or another 10. And you build the network. Same way you're doing with the small businesses. Because eventually you're going to get to the place where you're going to, the Sumter Mall is going to be filled with our businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're supporting each other. Because we have the majority, right?
Yeah.
And real talk with your numbers. If the population suggests, based on the latest census, that we're at a 51-49 split between African Americans and other populations, and the city has about 57,000, that means that we're at like 2850. Did you have 28,050 people come 28,500 people come to your last event?
No.
That means that you haven't cornered the market. Right? There's more people out there.
Facts.
Right? Think about all the people that were on the festival and the app. There were other festivals going on the same day that people were at.
Facts.
Even though it was packed, there are still other places.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong with building a network, because if you got total support, everybody would eat.
Yeah.
Right? If we had 28,500 people putting their complete income into the businesses that we do, because we are quality, we are excellent, we provide great product, we would be able to sustain everybody at their level they want to live at.
Yeah. I love that, man. You gave me some bars, man. Y'all hear that? Mm-hmm. Collaboration is power, man.
It is, man. There's no competition.
We don't have to compete. We got to come together. And honestly, man, that's one of the reasons why we created this show. Because I've met so many people since doing the show, through interviewing, different entrepreneurs and artists and just movers and shakers, people who I generally probably wouldn't have a conversation with. Yeah. So, unfortunately, but that's why I created it. I said, well, I'm going to create something where I'm going to be here every week and I'm going to talk to different people every week. You're going to bring them to you. Yeah. They're going to want to. Eventually, they're going to reach out and be like, how can I get on your show? And I mean, that was the first time. That's what I did. Hey, I'm in town. You got a spot? Hey. You know I had to get you on, man. I had the great Kenneth Thomas on earlier. Yeah. Class of 95. Let me just put that out there. Big shout. My man Sterling Tabon was on last week. So, seeing people that I've all like Sterling, I've always seen him doing things in the community. He ordered some flyers from me once, but we never had a conversation until last week. Now we talking more, and I can see something happen. I don't know what, but something's going to happen, with both of us coming together and making some things happen. He's doing some great things. Yeah, he got a lot of great stuff with the youth, man. I like that brother, man. He's a special brother. So, man, that's what it's about, man. Bringing, gentlemen like you on and ladies as well. Yeah, definitely, because you got some major women doing they moving and shaking, things, man. And they're not afraid, right? And that's the place we have to get back to. Yeah, where we are unafraid to go out and attempt it. Yeah, man. Right? You don't need a big tribe. You just need a couple people that's really rocking with you. Yep. Right. And let them push you out there. But back to this competition, man, because I really think that this is major. I got to stay here for just a couple more seconds. Talk about it, man. We here. Right. I heard a billionaire say that the only people that have problems with you are people that are not doing what you're doing. Right. And oftentimes the reason people are so people are so constructively critical, not even constructively, but just critical about what you're doing, is because either A, they're not at your level, or B, they're cutting corners and your excellence is shedding negative light on them and forcing them to have to level up, and it makes them uncomfortable. Oh yeah. See, there is no, even in track, right? If I'm running beside you and you're faster than me, guess what? I can't hate on you. That means I ain't trained enough. That means I need to go back to the gym, lift some more weights, and I need to keep on coming. Now, the reality is you may be better than me. Yeah. But what you should always do is push me to be better. Yeah. And that's what we should have to do. We should be pushing each other to be better. Yeah. Right? Certainly, man. So let's talk about, because you was in education system, and you've done a lot of great things in the entrepreneurship world, man. So where does that come from? Was you coming from a family of entrepreneurs, or where does that come from for you, man? Just the grind, man. Don't want to be broke. Yeah. Right? Don't want to be broke. I really think, so part of it comes, real talk, I did grant work and stuff for a long time, nonprofit stuff, because I really want to give back. But grant work, you don't really get, it's not a money maker, right? It's designed to be able to sustain you while you provide programming. When I left the school system, I started a center, the Center for Excellence, right there on Miller Road. When that closed down, it closed down as I was transitioning into ministry full time. So it's amazing. They told me that the grant had run out, right, and I couldn't pay the bills at the building, and I was really panicking. I had just started back at seminary. In fact, I had applied to the seminary the year before, but if I would have gone that year, I would have never left the school district. I would have tried to do both, but I had to leave the school district to start off on my own, right? And so I didn't get accepted to the school I wanted to until I left the school district. And then I got accepted in June. That's a bar. Right? I got accepted in June, started in September,
lost the grant in October. Building shut down in November. In November, one of my professors passed, and as a result, he had his wake at Job's mortuary. As I'm coming to the wake, one of the members from Jehovah comes out and says, "Hey, the Christian education person is leaving. You should check it out." So this is November. I just lost the building. December, I go to church on the 2nd of December. In the line, I greet Pastor Newton and say, "Hey, look, I'm in school. I'm closing the center. I heard you got an opening. What you got for me?" He said, "Come here on Monday." So I started first Monday in December 2011, right? And I was at Jehovah until I left in 2018. Now, in the middle of that, I had some negative stuff. I made some bad decisions. But part of what happened in my bad decisions was, in the church they call it getting sat down, but what it is you get on administrative leave, right? You get punished for bad behavior. I was, I had a couple of affairs and it got out. But what happened was they cut my salary, right? And the people that were proponents of really wanted to get me fired. They really wanted me fired, wanted me to lose my license, and maybe rightfully so, but the church is supposed to be the place of grace. And if I've gotten forgiven by God, my wife forgave me, then, everybody else, whatever. But what I realized in that moment is that I can never be dependent on one source of income, right? I can never. God has gifted me too much to be dependent on one source of income.
Yeah.
Because then they become your master.
Yeah.
And you subject yourself, nor do you want to get freed from it because you're so dependent on the check.
Swear.
That's a bar.
So when you're able to
Listen
craft
up.
multiple streams, then nobody becomes king, right? They're really serving you, right? So your streams are serving you. So what you have to do is you have to put in things you can get residual income from, right? In other words, stuff you don't have to sweat for. You sweat to set it up, but it maintains itself.
I like that.
Right? So writing books kind of maintain themselves. They sell, even if they don't sell on the thing, if I'm preaching somewhere, I can take my books. I can take 20, sell them at whatever the cost is. I can sell them at the manufacturer's price if they already paid for it, right? And replenish. You want to be able to love what you do, right? And loving what you do will open up more doors for you, right? So loving to teach will provide you opportunities to teach outside of the 9 to 5, which will be workshop leaders and stuff. That's multiple streams. So ideally, we all have gifts, and don't let people make you feel like the stuff you do is too small. Because listen, I was talking to somebody the other day. I can get a T-shirt press, right? Buy a box of T-shirts for $50. I think it's maybe, let's say 100 there, right? The film costs maybe $2, maybe $10, right? So that's $60 I've spent, right? I print the shirts, 100 shirts for $10 a piece. So I make $1,000 minus the $60. I walk away with $940.
Oh yeah.
You say it little.
Oh yeah.
That $940 I ain't had.
Facts.
Right? Selling t-shirts. When then I take $50 of that, right? So that's $890. 10 more dollars, $880. I do the whole thing again. Right? So now I'm at $1,800 and some change.
Hustling 101, baby.
Right? And it ain't cost me but a little bit. The heaviest lift was the T-shirt press. And then you position yourself in places where they'll buy T-shirts.
Facts.
Right? So you think about that kind of stuff. And we're at the age now, you ain't got to be the laborer. Sometimes, you got kids in the neighborhood. Why not buy 2 lawnmowers, a weed eater, a blower, or a broom, and just teach them the art of lawn care, and just place them in the neighborhood and outprice the zero turn by $10, right? And promise you'll be there faithfully. You could drop them off in the neighborhood. Little young kids, they'll push the lawn. They ain't got to get dropped off at every house. They'll push the lawnmower. If they get a $50 yard, if they get 4 $50 yards, 3 days a week. Right?
Man.
I
like them numbers. I'm a numbers guy too. I like them numbers.
So you just think about how that works. They work after school every day, 3 hours a day. Right? They do 5 yards a day at $50 a yard. So that's $250. 3 days a week, that's $750.
Oh yeah.
Right? Overhead's covered because you gifted them the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Teach them money management though.
Yeah.
Teach them how to use it so they build wealth. Don't buy no J's, not off the first check.
Nah.
You save the first check. Buy J's off the second check.
Yeah.
Right after you but again, this is what we have to do. And it's up to us to teach it. Because I didn't learn it till late.
Right.
Right? I should already be retired. If we would have taught investment to our children.
Man, trust me.
Listen, my dad walked away at the age of 53. My dad ain't worked since he was 50. My dad is 78 now. My dad hasn't worked a job since he was 53 years old. You're not hearing me.
I heard you.
My dad ain't worked a job. Has built houses but ain't work a job since he was 53.
That's love, man.
25 years later,
Yeah.
he ain't looking back. Okay.
That's what it's about, man.
So I mean, that's the kind of stuff we got to pass.
I want to really, tap into that, stay where we're at with that, man. Because, I do retail therapy, the small business network. I think the pandemic showed a lot of us, especially our people, black and brown, that you can't depend on a job. You got to start some type of service, some type of business. And we saw all type of businesses was born. Lawn care, T-shirts. I mean, they going crazy with the
Mobile
cricket
bartenders.
machine. Mobile bartenders.
That's my thing right there.
You name it, they was creating it. But a lot of them not surviving. And that's where I try to come in at. But I'm only one person. I want you to kind of speak on, what's missing for us? Because we tapped in. We know we need a business now. We need a service. We need something. But what's missing for us out there that we need that could help out? And I don't see a lot of males in the space that's product-based either.
Yeah, because we don't, right? But I think one thing that messes us up is we're big on the launch, but we're not big on longevity.
Exactly.
We're big on the launch.
They love the launch.
We love the launch.
We love
to promote the drop.
They get that dopamine.
We're about to do
200 likes.
Yeah. But we fail in the planning for sustainability, right? And we do it in all levels. All levels, right? I was reading this article about church planning. And they said, you don't just say you're going to have a church and you launch it the next week. We do that, but they don't do that. They set out 14 months in advance, and they have milestones they want to reach. So they're like, they want to have 75 people gathered in their meeting, their meeting small group. They want to amass $2,000 a week and have $50,000 in saving before they start. Now, oftentimes we launch businesses out of necessity. They launch out of vision. In other words, they pre-plan. We launch because, oh man, my rent due. Let me sell some chicken dinners. Okay, I'm gonna parlay this chicken dinners this week to a caterer. I'm gonna be a caterer next week because my chicken dinners popped off this week.
Yeah,
right. But we got to work on. So do it. But go back to school. Get your culinary degree. Right. Really invest in yourself. Build a good website. Provide professional services. I'm talking about a level of professionalism.
Yeah.
You can't be hood and try to reach everybody. Now, hood works for people that are used to hood, but when God has graced you with the ability to launch a business, you got to take it up a notch, which means you got to be willing to constantly invest in yourself to help improve, right? Get the trainings, get the certificates, get the proper containers, get if you're doing shirts, move to personalized bags. Take it up a notch. If you say you're gonna have the order by Wednesday, have it by Tuesday. Right? Answer your phone. Right? Answer your phone when they call.
Listen up.
Right? Show up prompt. Don't have nobody waiting. Never have somebody chasing you down, and be gracious. Right. Throw in a couple extras.
Yeah.
You want a memorable experience that leads them to call 5 people when they leave you and recommend you the next day. Right? And so we have to think about, we want to give a boutique experience we don't treat it like boutiques, right? We trying to sell people with Nordstrom prices, but we treating them like city trends.
Yeah.
Right? we're not, and people are, it's hard-earned money.
Yeah.
Right? So when they say, listen, when they try you out, they're trusting you. How dare you missteward their trust and then get mad when they don't come back?
Yeah.
Or when they don't support.
Yeah.
The reason they haven't supported is because somebody has said, or they experienced firsthand, that you aren't what you have promoted. So if you're going to offer the service, offer the service with excellence.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the least you can do. And that means you may not be able to unleash the whole catalog of your services.
Yeah.
If you can't make sure that I can get a pedicure and manicure done in an hour, it takes me 4 hours and I got to wait, then don't offer it all. Just offer me a pedicure. Right? If you haven't quite mastered cakes, then just offer me pies. Don't sell me on cakes and I get a burn up cake, right? If you haven't mastered it, don't test dummy me.
Yeah.
Heard that.
Man, he just gave us some bars right there, man. And you know, we laughing and stuff, but I see it all the time.
Oh yeah.
They passionate about when they get the logo and they come to me, they get the business cards, the flyers, they get the shirt made, they hyped up, and it's like a shooting star. And then they just come on back down because they're doing stuff like that, man. But
it's patience too, right?
Yeah.
It ain't going, for whatever reason, and I know we see it, right? Because we saw old girl last year that dropped what did she drop? She dropped something at Walmart, and she made like $1.5 million the first day. And we see those, and those are like the anomalies, right?
Yeah.
But it's persistent work. For one thing, we in Sumter. And I don't care if you put it on SC something news or whatever the little Facebook groups are. I mean, there's 30,000 people in there, but you only engaging. Really, real talk, you only engaging 15% of your audience.
Yep.
Right. That's how the algorithm works. You're only getting 15%. Right. So which means you may think everybody's seeing it, but everybody ain't seeing it.
Nah.
Right. You mad because you go live and 3 people watch. Well, only 3 people saw it.
Yeah.
I know you may have 4,000 friends, but they ain't all seeing your stuff. It's gonna take months for them to finally stumble on it. But you have more technology now, more ways, and you got to use it. You talk about AI, you talk about TikTok.
Yeah.
You can use all this social media to promote. You may have to boost, right? But it's still ain't nothing like getting out there in the streets. I mean, I know we old and y'all young people don't like this, but street team ministry used to be the thing.
Oh yeah.
The backpack boys used to be the thing, right?
I still get out there, man.
We be on the corners with backpacks and a pack of flyers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We too good for the heat now, I guess.
I still get out there,
bougie,
man.
But it takes, and then sometimes you're gonna have to just volunteer to do. If you launching a makeup company, right, or hair, just volunteer to do a couple people weddings for free. Promote it, but do it excellent. Do it with excellence.
Yeah.
Don't do a job and then have to go back and pay for the same job you offered them for free. Because that time is just as valuable as money.
Oh yeah. Certainly.
But you promote yourself, and then if your friends ain't supporting you, then maybe they ain't really the product you need to do. Right? Because your friend should be your friend should be your number one street team. Your friend should promote you like Diddy used to do. On All Bad Boy. Y'all young people don't know Diddy. Old Diddy. Y'all know Met Gala Diddy. But y'all don't know Diddy.
Facts, man. And you gave so many bars just now, man. Do it with excellence. That's what I got from it.
Like excellence.
And that we gotta do that. And one thing I noticed about you, man, you work social media well. So where does that come from? Where do you have the mind to know that I gotta work this social media? You post content daily. Sometimes I get up in the morning, you done beat me to the punch.
Well, listen, I really think it just comes from listening to people, man. Really, really paying attention. There are social media gurus, and that's the other piece, right? Everybody should have a mentor.
Yeah.
Right? There is nobody that's so good at their craft that they can't learn something from somebody else. And none of us are masters of everything. So you have to be open. Right, invest in a webinar. Right, even if you don't get if you don't pay the $27 to get the book, watch the webinar. Right, get as much as you can. But really learn the stuff you want to promote on. I was blessed to start a ministry in 2017 called the Life Center, which was completely virtual. And the reason I stopped it was because I listened to people who couldn't understand how can you quantify membership in a virtual church. They didn't understand that. And I listened to them and wasn't really as aggressive. And what happens in 2020? Everybody go virtual.
Yeah.
Nona Jones, who is from Facebook, she said this. She said that on March 15th, 2020, there were 7,500 churches on Facebook. She said 2 months later, on Mother's Day, there were 85,000 churches on Facebook. But we'd already been doing it, but we ain't trust ourselves because it hadn't been done. And this is the word I want to leave as we wrap this section up. Don't worry about if you hadn't seen it before. Sometimes you are the prototype, right? Sometimes you can't expect other people to do it or have done it. You have to trust what was given to you, your dream, and you have to go after it with all the energy you have, because there will never be it if you don't become it. It's waiting on you to become. I mean, you had Kenny on here. Kenny was doing computers, building computers. He had a whole music streaming system. Before anybody, before Tidal, before Apple Music, Amazon, he was streaming. He was doing websites. He had a whole platform that was ready to challenge Google, like a whole search engine. And this was years ago.
Big shout, Kenneth Thomas.
Right? Yeah. This is years ago.
OGs.
And I mean, the crazy thing is, a lot of times you're not going to get the support initially from your people because they only see you as Kenny Thomas from, all you going to be is Abram, right? From Sumter. They're not going to see, but even Jesus dealt with that. Texas, Jesus went back home and the people started saying, well, ain't you the carpenter's son? Ain't your brothers James, Joseph, Judas? And the text says he couldn't perform miracles. He said the prophet is without honor with his own home. And the narrator says that he could not perform many miracles. I don't believe that's the truth. What I really believe is Jesus decided I'm not going to waste my energy in places that won't accept me. Right? I have a choice.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe the reason you ain't seen us here is because we ain't been accepted.
Yeah.
But there are places that are benefiting from the work we're doing.
Yeah. That's beautiful, man.
I'm done.
Hey, the brother, Dr. Napoleon Bradford in the building, man.
Done.
No, we can talk for days, man. I thank you for coming out, man. It's been a true honor and pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Of course, it's a hip-hop platform, so before you get out of here, we got to ask you this question, man. Top 5 rappers dead or alive, who you got, brother?
Man, top 5. You know, listen, my first rapper I love was Heavy D. Shouts out to Heavy D. I know y'all may not know him.
Heavy D and the boys.
But dilly D. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But you know, you got Hev. I'm a Busta Bus fan, right? I love Drake. I love Wayne.
Yeah.
And I like 2 Chainz.
Yeah,
No, 21 Savage.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like I gotta it's just something about him throwing 21 in there.
Yeah, 21.
That's it. But yeah, so I'm
That's
on
hard, man.
little young people too. Like I like Glorilla.
Yeah.
I like that whole Memphis sound.
Yeah. Memphis got it going on right now.
That whole
man.
thing, man. They bounce back.
Yeah, they got it they got it going on right now.
Yeah,
man.
but it's just something about that style. But there's a lot of, I listen to it all, man.
That's dope, man. That's why I love you, man. You tapped in, man. I appreciate you for coming out, man. Keep doing your thing. Dr. Napoleon Bradford in the building. My brother, one of the greatest brothers I know in the community, man.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me, man.
And you a Big Motion All-Star. You welcome. Come on anytime you in town. You got something you want to talk about, something you want to announce, something you want to just bring to the platform. You always welcome to come on the show, man. We appreciate it. Big Motion Podcast, exclusive interview. I go by the name of Beazo803 on that social media. This is my co-host right here.
Been Mikey, $, Mikey, man. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, y'all. Y'all, this is our 1 year anniversary too, y'all.
Is it?
1 year anniversary.
1 year. Man, I made the anniversary show.
Facts. We out.
Man, thank you.